Hey guys, good morning. I hope everyone's doing well. Just going over today's work for Thursday. I hope that you're getting all your assignments done and you're understanding how to do it. You guys are, again, I appreciate all the hard work everyone's doing. Just a reminder for two things. Make sure you're getting your spelling done this week. You're on unit 30. Just you have to have all 4 pages done by tomorrow. So make sure you're finishing that. And then also for your social studies, don't forget that you need to work on that timeline that's due tomorrow as well. I went over that yesterday in the Zoom meetings. If you have still have questions on it, and maybe you weren't on those Zoom meetings, get in touch with me, and I'll be happy to explain those to you. So really work hard at that and make it nice and neat. Color it nice and neatly. Draw some nice pictures that go with all those things. Okay. All right, let's get into our assignments. Kindergartners today, or kindergartner, I should say. Today you're working in your math on adding on the dice. So they give you a pair of dice. You got to tell me how many dots are on one side, write the number underneath it. How many are on the other side, write the number underneath it. And then there's one more line, and that's how many dice are there, or dots are there on that die all together. So it's kind of you're working on getting ready to do addition, adding problems. So we've done one other sheet like this already. This is our second one, so make sure that you do it nice and neat. Write your numbers nice and neat, and then at the very bottom it says color the domino that shows a double red. A double is when they have the same number. So if it has the same number on both sides, color that dice red. All right. Then on the bottom or on the back side, you have to write the missing numbers between 11 and, or no, sorry, that was yesterday's. On the back, you have to tell me how much money there is there. So this is again kind of goes along with what you did yesterday on your sheet. You have to count up how much money that is and write the number on the line. All right, for Super Kids, you have your M packet. You need to find two more sheets that you're going to be working on for that. And then also be ready today on our afternoon Zoom meeting. We're going to go over those letters and know their sounds. So make sure you've been practicing that and be ready for that during our afternoon Zoom. Okay? First graders, for your math today, you have a pretty easy one. It's all about the assessment stuff. So you have two sheets that are just adding practice sheets. So the first one's a fact sheet. Oops, I went the wrong way. So you got to do that adding practice sheet. The second one is one that we did earlier this week. It looks like this, okay? And that's with the adding sheet. And you got to color the numbers on both sides. We did like that. And then on the last page is your problem assessment sheet. On the top part, number one, it says Maurice had 9 rocks in his collection. And he found 2 more rocks. How many rocks does he have altogether? So draw me a picture. If he found 2 more, you got to decide, are you adding or subtracting? And then do your number sentence and how many rocks did he have left or altogether. On number 2, you talk about Danny had 6 dimes. He's going to split them equally between him and his friend Trisha. So you got to go back and forth in the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And tell me how many each would have. On number 3, you have 2 pennies and the rest are all nickels. Or sorry, 3 pennies and the rest are all nickels. Make sure you color the pennies brown and then count by 5s with the nickels and then add the pennies to it. Number 4, finish those patterns, counting by 2s on the first one and then counting backwards by 1s. And at the very bottom, bunch of adding and subtracting. So shouldn't be too difficult today. Like I said, it's all review stuff that we've been going through the last couple of weeks. So I think you should be able to handle it pretty easily. All right. For reading today, Rodney, for your reading, you're going to be reading the story "The Storm" and then answering the questions on the last page of the story, 187. Just do 1 through 5. You don't have to do the write about section today. Then in your workbook on page 57, you have a bunch of words that are vocab words. You got to circle the word, the letter that matches the word that finishes the sentence for 1 through 6 at the top. And then at the bottom, you got to look at the word that starts the phrase, the dark print word at the beginning, and circle the word that means the same as that. Okay. Then on the 56 or 58 and 59, you got to read the little story there on the top of page 58, and then you have 8 questions that deal with that story. Answer those. You've done that before. Shouldn't be too difficult for you. All right. First graders, this afternoon, right after the morning Zoom meeting, I'll post the story, The Surprise Family, on YouTube. You got to watch that story. And then you have some workbook pages that you're going to be working on today. All right. So on page 227, oops, I put 127, 227. Um, Hold on, let me go back to it now. Kind of confused myself. Page 227, you have to answer the question about the story that we read, and answer the question at the top, what was so surprising about the Hens family, and then draw me a picture also down at the bottom of it. Then on page 228, you need to read the story at the top about Sue and Sam, and then answer the question, how are they alike and how are they different, down at the bottom. 229, this one we've done many, many times before. Write the word, use those words, they're oi words, so coin, soil, boy, oil, toy, point. Use those words to answer each one that goes with each picture and whatnot. And then 230 is a little bit trickier. You have to color in the top box with a orange crayon all the words that pronouns words, but they're possessive pronouns. So like her, mine, my, his, your, their, its. Color all of those orange, and then down at the bottom, out of those ones that you colored, you got to use those words to finish fill in the blank there at the bottom. Shouldn't be too hard, but like I said, just be very careful, especially with the possessive pronouns, that you do that right. All right. All right, that's enough for first grade today. Second graders, for your math today, your first sheet deals with all multiplying by fives. It's kind of all the stuff that we've been doing with multiplication on fives. So make sure you do that. You got the clock again where you have to do that, and everything else is just multiplying by five. So you got that's your first sheet on there. Excuse me. Right. On the second page, we're again working with mixed numbers. Remember that was what we did yesterday. You got to kind of remember the big number tells you how many wholes there are, and then the last one, the fraction, that's how many you cut them in. So like the first one, it says 2.5. So there's 5 squares. So you got to color 2 whole squares, and then you color one of them. Color only half of it. Then the next one, there's 5 circles, and it says color 3.5 circles. So how many whole circles do you color? 3 of them, and then one of them you color half. So on the top part, some of them you're going to have to leave completely blank. Okay, so you're going to keep working on that on that part. Then on your guided practice worksheet this morning, it says the children found Mrs. Number 1, Mrs. Conte's class planted 18 tomato plants and 16 pepper plants. The children in Miss McConnell's class planted 14 tomato plants and 15 squash plants. How many tomato plants did they plant altogether? So we don't have to worry about the squash or the pepper plants. We're just worrying about the tomato plants. So there's 18 and 14, and to figure out how many they planted altogether, we have to add those two numbers together. Pretty easy. Number 2, add the quarter, the dime, and 2 nickels. How much money is that? Write that in 2 ways. Remember, one with the dollar sign, one with the cent sign. Number 3, measure that rectangle like we did yesterday with your centimeters, and then add up the perimeter. Remember, that's adding all 4 sides. Number 4, you got to tell me how the mixed number again. And on the bottom, number 5, you got to there's a circle graph down there that you need to answer those questions about that. So look at that graph of room 6 children's pets. Then you have a bunch of adding and subtracting and 2 multiplying problems there at the bottom. The back side's exactly the same, just different numbers like normal. Shouldn't be too hard. If you have questions, I'll go over that a little bit more in our Zoom meeting this morning. For your language today, you're going to be you're doing 2 pages on page 204 and 205, and you're looking at 2 words, is and are and was and were. If you're talking about one person, you always use the word is or was. If you're talking about 2 or more people, you use the words are or were. So what you have to do is go through the sentences, and if it's talking about one person, write is on the first page. If it's talking about more than one person, then you write are. On the second page, if it's talking about one person in that sentence, then you got to write the word was. If it's talking about more than one, write the word were. So you're just writing the words today. You're not writing any sentences, okay? For your reading today, second graders, we're skipping page 103. So skip 103 and go right to 104. 104 is from the story that you guys read about the brothers and sisters. You just have to finish the sentences for those fill in the blank. Sometimes you got it's not just with one word. You're gonna have to write a whole phrase or a whole bunch of words to finish those sentences there. All right. On page 105, you got to read the story about taking turns, and then on page 106, it says brothers and sisters have to take turns. From that story that you read, what are 5 reasons of why it's good that brothers and sisters take turns, and write those on the line there. Page 107, you have to write the spelling word from the box on the right hand side that matches each one of the clues. Pretty simple. And then on the back side, you're going to write the words from the word bank that go with the word family. So wonder, that's the first word family that they give there. You got to go and see what other words have the word wonder in it from the word bank. Well, I see wonderful. So wonderful would go under the word wonder. Then you got to go, all right, and there's 2 other ones. So there's 12 words up in that word bank. Each one of them has the word family word in it, and you have to write it under the correct one. Okay? All right, have a good one. Second graders, on to third grade today. Third graders, for your reading today, we are on page 143. We skipped a couple pages here, so we are going to skip pages 141 and 142 and go right to 143. This deals with possessive pronouns. They have some words that are underlined. So if you look at number 1, it says the house that belonged to the Jacksons. Okay, Tony passed. Instead of writing the house that belonged to the Jacksons, you could say Tony passed the Jacksons' house. Okay, because it's remember, like we did this in language class. Instead of saying the bone that belonged to the dog, you could say the dog's bone and add the apostrophe s to it. So that's what you do. You got to write the whole sentence out for page 143. 144, you got to write the comparison. You got to look at the word and decide, is it talking about the first part is are they the same or are they different, and then write one that goes in the blank. So like the first one, kitten is to cat as puppy is to. So a kitten is a baby cat, a puppy is a baby dog. So you write dog in there. All right, so you got to do those 8 comparisons there. 145, you have 25 words over in the word bank. You're going to write them all in one, except one of the words you're going to write twice, so be careful there. On the first top part, 1 through 8, you're going to write all the words that have the oo or the sound, like loose or look. 9 through 15, you're going to write all the list words that have the word fought, aw sound in it. And then 16 through 22 are the words that have the VCCV. So it means vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel pattern. So that means there's 2 vowels on the end, and this could be in the middle of the word where the consonants are the same and there's a vowel. So it goes vowel, A, E, I, O, U, any other letter, and then another vowel. So you got to look real carefully at those all and write those all there in the blank. Okay, and then on the back side, write the list word that finishes each one of those sentences on the top and on the bottom. So you're going to write those list words there. There's 14 of them. Shouldn't be too hard for you. All right. For language today for 3rd and 4th graders and Dylan and Javon, not too hard. You're just going to be filling in the blanks. This is dealing with compound predicates. Yesterday we worked with simple predicates. Remember those? We talked about how a simple predicate is like just the verb of the sentence. Today you're going to be looking for, again, the verb of the sentence, but because it's a compound, there's going to be 2 words there. So you got to find both verbs and write them in the line on your paper. So 6 through 17, that's exactly what you have to do there. You have to write those verbs and make sure you write them in. And then 18 through 22, same exact thing. You got to write the spelling words that fill in the blank. Again, do not have to write the sentences. Just write those compound predicates. Okay? I'll go over that a little bit more today in our in the morning Zoom class. All right? And then last but not least, 4th graders. All right, do you have the story Gloria Stefan that you have to read in your hardcover book? All right, and then on page 123 and 124, on 123, you have to finish the sentence with some vocab words from that story and write them in. They give you the words up there at the top, and then on the back side, in the story that you're reading about Gloria Estefan, you're going to find out that some people consider her to be a hero. And you have to go back in each one of the chapters and tell me what in that chapter a reason why someone might consider her to be a hero. There's lots of reasons that you're going to hear in our story. So in chapter 1, what happened in chapter 1 that might have caused her to be a hero, and then chapter 2, and then chapter 4, and then chapter 5. So in those 4 chapters, you have to go back and tell me, all right, she was considered a hero in this chapter because what great thing did she do in there? All right. And you only have 2 pages today, but really be careful on page 124 that you do a real good job on that. Okay. All right, I think that should be about it for today. Keep working hard, keep getting that stuff done. I'll be on for both Zooms, so it's real important that you make sure you be on there. Also, just a reminder, Friday morning Zoom, we got another special guest all lined up and ready to go, so make sure you jump on. I'm pretty excited about having this person on for this Zoom. It should be pretty fun. All right, have a great Thursday, and if you have time, enjoy this weather, because I hear there's a chance of the SNOW heading back. No, I don't want to see any more snow, but I hear it might happen tomorrow. All right, have a great day. See you guys.